Actually, one interesting example of resilience and what it might look like. In California, every organization, every citizen of the state it's drilled into their heads that we're going to have a big earthquake real soon. There's going to be the big one, whether in Los Angeles or the San Francisco area, and it's going to happen sometime in the next decade or three. Be ready for a big earthquake. So a lot of organizations came up with plans around earthquakes, how to deal with the local bridges or transit systems collapsing, how to deal with your employees still wanting to work but being able to reach the office. And it turns out that for those organizations that had plans around earthquakes, many of them were able to adapt more quickly to COVID because they already had the mental infrastructure in place, the resilience thinking in place to how do we deal with this disruption? Whether in this case, the disruption comes from a virus rather than from a fault line, but it's still a disruption to our normal practices of working. And we have plans for that. And so one thing that's really important around resilience is something that's called economies of scope. So most of us are familiar with the term economies of scale, which says, the bigger the system, the bigger the structure, the more it can handle even disproportionate to their size. So you can handle even more than you thought you could. That's great. Economies of scope say that you want to design something so that it can do more, can it be applied to more situations than it is initially designed for. So the example that gets used in every discussion of economies of scope are wheelchair cuts on corners, on curbs of sidewalks, pavements. You have many corners now have a wheelchair ramp. Well, that's great for people in wheelchairs, but it's also great for people pushing baby strollers, people pushing shopping carts, anyone who needs a little bit of help with something else on wheels that they need to be able to get up onto off the street. And so that's an economy of scope, being able to build for one thing that actually applies to a bunch of things. And so that's one of the elements of a good resilience process.